Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What the FinTech, your FinTech Feel Good show. What the FinTech is a news and information platform covering the latest FinTech development in Hong Kong, Singapore, China, and Asia. Join us every Wednesday for an engaging conversation with various Asian tech figures to discuss about entrepreneurships, emerging technology, customer engagement, and partnership. Before starting this interview, feel free to share your comment in the comment section if you watch this video. And if it's a podcast listening or if you are watching a video on YouTube, feel free to like and share with your friends. Today, we have a talented developer from many unicorn in Hong Kong and also the CEO of Mazecare, Ambroise. Hello, Ambroise. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. It's really good to have a tech expert in this show because most of the time we have a co-founder, but mostly on the business side or operation side. But having a tech figure is great for me. Could you quickly introduce yourself, your background, and where you're from?
Sure. As you said, I'm more on the tech side. I just happen to be the CEO of Mazecare right now. And I try to manage my company a bit more as a tech company and try to have the CEO and CTO hats at the same time. It's quite tough. And maybe at some point in time, maybe next year, I'm going to just focus back to the just 100% tech and maybe hire a CEO to help me manage the team and the business development of the company. But to introduce myself, I'm mostly on the tech side. If I have to, yeah, maybe if I have to tell a bit my story quickly, I've been spending most of my, let's say, working life in Hong Kong. And what I did mostly was to work in startups and mostly fintech startups and a bit of banking, insurtech, and now it's, let's say, between insurtech and health tech. I worked in companies. So I was like, I think the first hired engineer inside a company called Quantifeed. And after I was the head of engineering of a company called 8 Securities, which was doing brokerage and robo advisors for retail investors. And that has been bought by SoFi and became SoFi HK. After this, a bit of banking. After this, I became the CTO of CoverGo, which is a B2B insurtech startup. And that was mostly doing maybe mostly general products in insurance and helping any kind of insurance companies to digitize. And and after this, basically, I left CoverGo because I wanted to focus much more on the health side of insurance to basically help medical groups as well, basically to focus on the whole patient side plus member side on the insurance side. So, from when you have the patient side, it goes from, let's say, the patient's appointments and after queue management systems and after medical records and the consultants and telemedicine here. And after you have the prescription and after the invoice, kind of. And the invoice is basically the wall between the medical side and the insurance side, because from the invoice afterwards you have scoping the different payers that are going to be part of this invoice. Some of them are going to be claims, some of them are going to be paid by the patient, and so we deal with the whole insurance side of things as well. So claim, pre-authorization, claim adjudication, management of the network for the insurance companies, management of the claims, and of course claim settlement, and a lot of communication, patient portals, member portals. So a lot of communication between the patient, the medical provider, and the payer, who is the insurer.
So your company is focusing only on Hong Kong markets, or you have international scopes because you develop so much tools right now?
Well, it just happened that I've been in Southeast Asia for a long time. So most of my network is in Southeast Asia. And most of our clients are actually in, so a bit Hong Kong, Singapore, Indonesia, mostly Southeast Asia as a whole. Now there's no limitation about the company. Our business providers are mostly in Southeast Asia as well. From the end of this year or next year, we're definitely going to expand to different markets. There's no limitation for us. Basically, the products are quite the same. The geography doesn't matter too much.
And how did you become a tech figure here in Asia, a CEO? What was the turning point in your life?
The turning point in my life was mostly. I mean, I wanted to basically at some point you always build the companies of other people, and at some points it's better if you work for yourself. It's definitely if you think that you're capable of, you have the network, or you're capable to raise enough money or deliver good products that serve potential clients, and that can be and that you can potentially scale later on, it's probably better that you became your own the entrepreneur of the company you want to do. um, it's always good to work for other people. Of course, you get mentoring and you get education from these people. You learn a lot of things, but at some point in time, it's just you learn even more from what you learn yourself and the pressure you have about if you own a company and you manage this company. So the turning point is yeah, at some point in time you have to work for yourself a bit more.
How's the idea of your company came into your mind, and how did you start it?
It was in CoverGo. So as I was the CTO of CoverGo, I noticed. So we did some things for health here and there, and I noticed that some of the, I mean, there was quite a lot of requirements, not only in the insurance side of things, but the, let's say because health insurance is about connecting the patient, the medical provider or the medical groups, the medical networks, and the insurer. And there was no real nice products. I mean, there's not a lot of companies that do this kind of things, and there are not a lot of companies that also have the capabilities of being able to at the same time build good clinic management software, hospital information systems, patient portal slash member portal, and insurance management portal for the insurers to manage perfectly the claims, the products claims policies, but also do the claim adjudications part of it, and a claim settlement. And this claim settlement as well is claim adjudication. You need to have visibility over the visits that have been done. So a lot of API connectivity between the three stakeholders I mentioned. Nobody really does this, and I wanted to be one of the first company who does that.
And what is the business model of your company? Is it a SaaS model, API economy model, or do you have another model that you can share with us?
Many models at the same time.
Okay.
We try to adapt to exactly what our client wants. Some clients they prefer because some clients have a lot of customization um, that are added on top of a base product. When they do this, we tend to have a bit more lump sum, or maybe they will want to pay a bit more licensing fee, or maybe claim education fee, or all these kind of things. So we have lump sum, licensing, maintenance, support fees, and also the other kind of fees, and we just adjust them depending on what the client wants. So we just talk to the customer and we ask him, like, we ask the customer how they prefer to be charged, and after we find a balance that is good for, I mean, that would be a win-win for both companies, of course.
So it's really tailor-made.
It's a bit in between. So we have some base products, a lot of modular stuff. So we have a lot of modules that can be composed, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's a bit more SaaS, so we have, for example, click management software that are a bit more SaaS, or hospital information system that are a bit more SaaS. But most of them, they actually need a customized product because um, medical insurance, medical management is, they always have quite complex workflows, and they usually need something that is a bit different. So we do a bit of both. We are between SaaS and tailor-made slash customized.
And you spoke about a different product that you got with your portal, the claims, everything. How do you develop your product for those companies?
That sounds a bit stupid, but we talk to the customer, and yeah, most of the companies that we have seen working in this environment don't constantly talk to the customer. How do we develop? Is we talk to the customer twice a week, and we make sure that everything we develop, they know about it. We proactively ask them if this is a good idea or a bad idea, and yeah, talking to the users basically. I know it sounds natural, but people don't really do it mechanically, and that's why we have so many bad products on the market. We try to always map what we are trying to do to a need that is verified by our customer, and sometimes the end customer of that customer.
And do you do some testing phase for developing your product?
Yeah. Usually, well, testing phase, that depends on there's going to be a launch phase, and this launch phase is not necessarily, is already testing, because we're always going to iterate, like make it better. So when you launch a product, you're already testing something, and so version 2 is a test as well. Version 3 is a test. So we keep we keep launching products for the customer, and we keep iterating and improving based on a lot of different factors. Yeah, we try to also track how the user uses the software and improve the user experience.
I was speaking recently with another insurtech company here in Hong Kong, One Degree, and they mentioned for some of their products they did 5 iteration during a year. Do you do a lot of iteration yourself as well?
We don't like we deploy every day. So technically, in a year we do 300 iterations.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we deploy to production many. Well, usually 2 or 3 times a day. Um, we are in tech. You have something that we call CI/CD, or continuous integration and continuous deployment. So every time something has been coded by somebody, he will do what we call a pull request. This pull request is usually reviewed by somebody a bit more responsible about the product, a product owner, for example, or somebody who can see if the code is quite okay. And when this happens, it goes into a pipeline of, okay, this has been accepted because the code seems okay. And after automatic tests, and after deployment in, let's say, a dev environment, which is a test environment, and after more tests on top of this environment, and after you just, oh, things seems to be okay, deploy to production. And all of this is done automatically. So if you have this kind of pipeline, you can iterate much faster than anybody else, which means that you have an acceleration of innovation faster than anybody else, which means that it's a bit like interest rate, right? It's an explosion of innovation. You have much better product. You have a much better product, much faster. And basically, as soon as something is coded, it's already in the hand of the user. The user could be the insurer, the patient, the member, the medical group, a doctor, for example.
You spoke about so many products right now, but do you have like a specific product who is super successful with your customers, or like an entry level product that you can sell to everyone, for example?
Yeah, actually, what we have right now, the most popular is going to be a bit more on the digital health side, not necessarily on the insurance side, but even if the insurance side is a good one, is it's going to be. Uh, I mean, every medical group will want three things at the same time, which is a perfect clinic management system, and a perfect landing page, and a perfect patient portal. So we usually our contracts, or if it's only the medical group, is going to be those three products at the same time, so that they have perfect visibility or perfect interaction with the customers and their own staff as well.
In terms of a fun fact about this product, can you share with us some what you solve exactly on the market? Like, do you serve like days of work, or days of waiting for a claim to be solved, or months or hours?
Oh, the fun fact about this. So we are very good to about. I mean, you have a lot of experience on something that we call claim adjudication, which is trying to understand if, based on the rules that a policy has and the previous claims that have been on top of this rules of this policy, uh, should this claim be accepted or rejected or partially accepted? And so we are really good about. We are, yeah, we are probably one of the only one who can really do perfect claim adjudication, which normally takes 3 months, 6 months, and everything is going to be done manually. So we managed to be able to do this completely automatically, which allows to, for example, if you don't want to use the complete automated way, you can have somebody who does it manually, and this can be just a verificator of seeing if a claim adjudication is not completely wrong because somebody who did it by hand did some silly mistake. So here we can basically reduce some cycle from 3 months to 1 day.
Wow.
Wait, so that's if you're talking about some funny, yeah, that's quite funny. Yeah.
Okay, like this, everyone's have a picture on the mind.
Yeah.
So, and what are the issue on the market right now, except being manual or having like different steps from this company to solve this in one day? Because you use technology for this, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many of them. But as you notice, we do quite a lot of stuff. So claim adjudication is a big problem because it's quite expensive when you do it manually. You have an expensive admin fee that is done by not even the insurance company; it's done by some third party that help them in doing it usually. So on the insurance side, that's I think the biggest problem. On the medical side, you have so many problems. It's Stone Age. They really are at the Stone Age of digital, and so There's everything needs to be rebuilt. When we look at most of the clinic management software, they are very, very old. They have no connective whatsoever. The way the abstraction work inside the clinic management software is just not correct. So, for example, they will in consultation will is always going to have one patient and one doctor. No, not necessarily. You can have multiple doctors. You can have referral from a GP to SP. You want to be people to be able to share medical records from and let the patient knows, and so the patient to accept which medical record should be shared to somebody else. Because of regulation. Um, yeah, so there's so many problems. We have seen so many data being shared about the patient, and technically it should not never been shared. This is not authorized by the patient. We have seen also the doctors who refuse to let the patient have all the medical records because maybe they don't want to, or maybe, and this is illegal by the way, depending on the jurisdiction, or maybe they don't even have the capabilities to do it. um, okay, maybe one of the biggest problem we've seen is, even in Hong Kong, but in a lot of other countries, the doctors still use pen and paper. There's no click management software. So yeah, it's still the stone age in the medical side of things.
Okay, I can reconcile this with, for example, accounting, HR, or even with the CPA firms that are still using Excel, for example, or different meanings, but not like the software for those tools right now, right?
Yeah.
Like we have a couple of software accounting platforms, but everyone's not using them.
Yeah, not yet. They are not aware of what can be done. They are not aware.
Exactly. So it's interesting to see this kind of similar issues in other industry, right? One of my questions would be, what distinguishes your startups to other startups and other businesses in your industry?
The biggest point is that we really focus much more on engineering more than sales. Right now, we are 20 people. We are 20 engineers.
Okay.
We actually outsource everything else. We have very good business providers who actually do the business development for us and talk to other people and get us contracts. And basically, we give them commission, right? Basically, this is how we kind of work. We outsource even accounting, HR, all these kind of things are quite outsourced. But it's okay because we're only 20. As we grow, we're probably going to have a percentage of the team that is going to be less about engineering and more about something else. Also, by engineering, all our engineers need to be quite conscious about the product they build. They're actually all product first and after engineers. And this is something that is very important for us and allows us to be much faster than most of the competitors. It's because the people who are coding the product, they actually understand the product they are doing. They are talking directly to the customers. So we don't have a project manager in between to talk to the customer. Every time somebody is working on the feature, they talk directly to the customer, try to get feedback, and all the meetings that we have with the customer is with the whole engineering team. We don't separate things. We have direct communications only, and this make us much. Basically, the time of delivery is just much faster than anybody else, than any other companies I've been working for before, actually, as well.
And this is your DNA?
Yeah. That's the DNA. The DNA is just like you're working on something. Just don't go sideways. Don't ask for permission. Just ask the client directly. And if they are not don't feel secure with the customer to talk directly to the customer, they can ask me. They can ask me to be in the room, and that's good enough.
And do you promote that culture in different ways and just facing the customers, or?
Yeah. I don't know if you have seen a lot of different guidelines of new company cultures, but what we follow is there's the famous Tesla not a handbook.
Mm-hmm.
So we follow quite a lot this kind of the Tesla way, and there's also the Netflix as well. So they have some first principle rules, and basically they're all very practical. We don't really have we try to have leadership. We are very flat in the end.
Do you have any advice you give to your new employees when they join your company?
Yeah, the first advice is forget about the tech for 1 second and focus on the client first. Like always, whenever you, I don't know, you're on your front end engineer, you work on a component, and like just step back from time to time. Just think about, is it useful? Is it useful? Does it add value to the customer? And if you're not sure, don't do it. Ask around. It's useless to code a component that is not going to be practical. So yeah, that's the first, and that's on the engineering. Basically, I'm forcing engineers to be less about engineering, about product, and after they understand exactly where they want to go back to the product, to the engineering side. Sorry.
And what makes a great team? Because you look so passionate about speaking about your team right now. So my question would be, what makes a great team for you?
Uh, well, spend the right time. Well, you have to be. I think recruiting is a skill. Like it's probably the most. I mean, I still spend 20% of my time recruiting people. Recruiting is the most important thing you can do in your company. You really want to be surrounded by people you like to work with, and hopefully they like to work with you as well.
Mhm.
um, and try to find people also that can fit the culture. So as you probably understood, our culture is very like be proactive. The not my problem syndrome. This doesn't, yeah, that doesn't work inside our company. If you see a problem, solve it, or at least put it in some backlog so that somebody can solve it, or you can solve it later. Um, so yeah, that's basically it.
Where is based your teams right now? Are they overseas? Are they in the same country? Are they like just digital nomad everywhere in the world?
We are all in Southeast Asia and South Asia right now. So we have people in Hong Kong, Singapore, Philippines, India, Malaysia, and I'm forgetting something. Um, Maybe that's about it. Indonesia. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
And you have 20 engineers. That's what you said.
Yeah, we're 20. Yeah,
Okay. And
20
do
engineers.
you think it's a good number of people working with you right now? Is it enough for you?
I mean, that's a very good question. I mean, it's never good enough. Basically, I mean, as you understand, we're trying to manage treasury of the company. We're trying to manage the money correctly. So we're trying to recruit people as we get more contract and try to, it's always trying to map the amount of people can work for you that can generate money as well for you directly. So right now, 20 is okay, but we'd like to be 30 in around 2 months. So basically, yeah, we are growing.
What are
Well,
you looking for right now? If someone is listening to this podcast and want to reach out to you, what are you looking for?
oh, if they want to reach out to me, well, they can probably they can on I guess LinkedIn would be the easiest way. Now it depends on what they want to talk about. If they want to talk about engineering, I mean, yeah, my door is always open. If they want to talk issue more on the client side of things, you can maybe look at our website and contact us via the website, or contact me directly on LinkedIn or by email. Um, yeah, nothing too specific.
Did you face any challenge or obstacle working with insurance or healthcare company?
I uh, usually most, I mean, yeah, in my experience, but not only in Mazecare, also before, most of the people that were pushing our projects were kind of champions inside the company, like an insurance company or a financial institutions that were pushing our projects because they saw something in us. They saw that the product that we were doing and we could implement inside the bank or the insurance company could be very useful and could add a lot of value. The obstacle side was mostly the engineers inside actually these bank and insurance companies that just don't want to, I don't know, that don't want the let's say the third party to steal their job. So I guess that's understandable. But this is where we have the most resistance usually, the tech side of things.
And how do you solve this issue with those companies or those engineers there?
It's quite difficult. I mean, first, we are not really replacing them because they are maintaining the infrastructure that we rest on and the projects. Yeah, they also have a lot of legacy to take care of anyway.
Mhm.
So we try to, I mean, yeah, make them comfortable. And so, I mean, yeah, in the end, we are on the same team, right? So we try to make the best of it and try to make them comfortable, yeah, make them comfortable working with us.
What is the advantage of your company comparing to the structure of a large company? You spoke about the Stone Age before legacy, so I imagine yours is mostly agile and fast deployment.
Yeah, the agility, and again, directly talking to the people you need to talk to. Me in large company, I did there's quite a few things. It's not always the case, right? But they usually don't really know how to work. And working in a team is all about communication and making your point clear and try to have fast iterations of information when you communicate to other people. So intermediaries always cuts this, right? But so yeah, usually we know how to work, how to deliver things of quality and fast. And this comes from yeah, automation, talking directly to the right person, and yeah, I mean a lot of agility, lots of iterations.
Um, quick question, because you work with some insurance, some hospital, some healthcare companies, right? How do you help them to rethink their product?
Sorry, what?
How do you help them to rethink their product and develop new product?
Oh, so yeah, we usually have before implementing anything, even before starting like signing the end contract, um, we look at what they do. If it's like, for example, quite a medical group, we ask them, can we have 5 hours talking to some of your staff, looking at what you're actually doing, and see where we can help you. And I mean, like one of the previous company we have been working with, which is yeah, a medical group in Singapore. We spent 5 hours. One was with a nurse. One was with a manager that wanted to see all the reports of the different branches of medical group. One was with a doctor. One was with an admin. So we have different meetings with different users. So from the users, we get all the persona, and from the persona, we can start to do user stories. And so from there, we can manage to find what are actually the biggest problems inside this company, and how we can help them with the digital health products that we have, or what can we implement specifically for them.
Interesting. So you are doing kind of a shadow of their jobs, even if it's not related to tech or what you are doing every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we I mean, yeah, fairly often people ask us to help them to see what is actually useful for them to build. So sometimes they're just not aware, and they don't know what the other medical groups do. And even even like what do they do? Because a lot of industries, it actually do exactly have the same issues. And in most industries, I think they are quite special, but it's not exactly true. And I've been in finance, in insurance, and in medical. Nobody's special. They usually have the same problems, at least through first principle thinking. And so quite often we found solutions for an industry, something specific to an industry. They never thought about it, and we found a solution in insurance or in banking. It was not in medical. Um, and so we innovate this way quite a lot. And so sometimes this makes us being able to be the first to implement some specific feature.
Interesting. It's something. Yeah, I can see from your experience you got before with the startup you work and the big group you work before with. Do you face any competition when you want to work with tech teams or recruit tech teams to your company compared to big banks?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, yeah, we're quite. I mean, when we have interviews with them, we're quite lovable, actually. We're quite nice, and I think they see the passion that we have, and they see that experience doesn't count here. It's not experience; it's value. So, I mean, yeah, if you have 10 years of experience doing nothing in a company, somebody who has 6 months of experience can be better than you, and they should be paid more than you. So we have a lot of young people inside our company that actually are probably better. By far, actually, I think on average than in other company that are being hired, maybe in bigger group, bigger corporation.
We spoke about a lot of different companies working with you right now. So how do you navigate into that ecosystems, and how do you create a really good ecosystems around you to work with them and be at the center where they need you to be?
Do you mean about more like a business development ecosystem, or
Yes.
I mean, deliver products, the client being happy and recommending and referring the product to somebody else? It's kind of always the same. If you don't do compelling products, people are not going to like your products. You're not going to have good advertising. The only advertising we have is from our customers. That's basically about it.
So you don't do massive marketing on any campaign
No,
website.
no, actually, we don't really do. Recently, we do a bit more sales stuff, so we reach out a bit more. We just started actually. Um, I mean, Mazecare is only like what, less than 18 months old, I
Mhm.
think. And we have been profitable since almost day one. So we never needed to have some kind of salesy way of thinking. And now, because as we want to grow a bit more, we start to send more, more email, let's say, direct email, cold emails, and LinkedIn messages.
So what's next for you for the next year coming or the two next years?
But hopefully, I mean, there's so many. I mean, augmenting revenue, augmenting profit, hiring more people. So yeah, generating more value. Maybe at some points, maybe raise. Right now, we are 100% bootstrapped, so we never, because we have always been profitable. We never needed to raise more money. But that's true that strategic partnership of investors can generate, even be a real growth accelerator. So we could think about this. Um, but one of the personal objective I would have would be to be able to work for some governments, directly working with governments, and help on the payer side of digital health, and also help the digital ecosystem of of whole jurisdictions and whole countries.
Thank you very much. We are closing soon this interview, so I have a more personal question to ask you. The one will be, what is the piece of advice you can share with everyone listening to you or watching this video?
Piece of advice. Can you be more specific, maybe for a developer or for somebody working in the industry, like somebody working for a medical group?
Yeah, let's say for someone like working on medical groups. Yes.
Um, Look at your cost of operation and see how unproductive some of the slice you have can be, and how things could be completely automated. So I mean, the problem of most of the clients everybody has is they don't realize that the cost of operation that they have and how easy it could be reduced. So I would say look into this and try to add value and hire us to help you.
Good tip. What is your best tip to make the world a better world?
Well, Mazecare is, I think, is. I mean, one of the motivation of Mazecare is to destroy the cost of operation on the medical groups, destroy the cost of operation on the insurance side of things. If you destroy the cost of health, the insurance is cheaper. If you destroy again the claim management systems and claim education, the insurance is even cheaper. So from this analysis, I think that we could say that insurance policies could be maybe 50% cheaper. So that's the main target for Mazecare, is to be able to give much larger access to insurance, especially on the health side of things, to more people.
Do you have a mentor?
Well, I have a few. Huh? That you, Medhy, of course. I mean, I know you for like what, like 10 years, 8 years, something like this.
I think a bit less, but yeah, time
Oh, okay,
flies.
time flies. Yeah. I think, well, one of the first mentor I had was in Quantifeed, so it would be Ross Millward, who taught me to be much better at maybe more discipline, more methodical thinking. But I had quite a few after this. Like when I would join Eight Securities, I would say Cedric. There was also Charles Dossi, as you probably know him as well. Yeah, of course you know him. There was Walter. From Private Technologies, Charles Wong was, I think, helping me here and there. Um, I don't know. Yeah, a few friends here and there, of course. But yeah, those are mostly. I guess I'm probably missing a lot of names here, but I guess those are the first I can think of.
Where people can learn about you? Do you have any articles or blogs you have or anything?
But I guess our LinkedIn page, so you can look into it. Mazecare, Mazecare, or mazecare.com.
And if anyone wants to know more about your product or subscribe to one of your products, they should go to your website.
Yeah. The website has all the different products. We need to work on it a bit more because there are a lot of new things that we are doing now. But yeah, basically, if you go to our website, you know more or less what we're doing. Now we are not limited to this. We do a lot more things, and also we do. I mean, we touch to everything that is about digital healthcare. So if you have any if you have any idea of a new product we could build for you, we are very happy to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Ambroise. It was a pleasure to have you here today.
It was very nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching this video or listening to this podcast. I will see you next week with another Asian tech figures. Take care and have a nice week ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.